Steeler Nation, the 2024 season is officially underway. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Go figure. Michael, how are you?
I'm good. The season is underway, and the Chicago Bears are on the clock. We'll put it that way because it's NFL draft time, baby, and we're
Yeah,
excited about it. I know. Yeah,
most
today I know
wonderful time of the year.
we're gonna kick off our NFL draft offseason preview with an awesome guest who I know has already been linked to the Steelers in some capacity. So we'll talk to him about that a little bit. A good kid who was incredibly productive, and everybody's kind of glowing about right now. So I feel like that's a pretty good teaser before we get into the show, Jordan.
Before we get to, we always love to shout out our partners over at City Wheelhouse, where the bar is set. You see it on Mike's shirt right there. Tires for all cars and trucks can now be purchased online at steelcitywheelhouse.com. And most importantly, financing is available. They'll work with any budget. So make sure you go see our guys, John and John, down there at the one and only Steel City Wheelhouse. It's where the bar is set. And then after that, I'm sure that you had plenty of Stonies during the Super Bowl. It would have been better if the Steelers were there, but why settle for a run-of-the-mill mass-produced beer when you can have the best, upgrade your beer game, raise your standards, and taste the difference that Stoney's beer can delivers? And it always delivers, and hopefully the Steelers will be delivering touchdowns into the end zone this 2024 season. So what do you say we get to it? The draft is officially here. They say Christmas is the best time of the year. Well, if anything, this is runner-up. It's draft season. Let's get to it. Sammy Nanello, hit it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Steelers Crazy.
Harris Smith shields. Flacco Polamalu takes it home. Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh might be bound for that thanks to number 43.
The sickest Pittsburgh Steelers podcast. Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. You said it, and I'm excited. All offseason, we're going to have some great draft prospects on, and today we're kicking it off in a big way. This is a wide receiver who was an absolute standout at Holy Cross. He led the FCS with 15 touchdown catches. He's a career receiving yards and touchdown leader at Holy Cross. We're excited to have him on the Sick Podcast. Steelers Crazy. Meet Jalen Coker. Jalen, what is up, man?
How you guys doing? Nothing much. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Well, we're excited to have you, man. And we're going to talk about the draft process very soon. But I want to start with the journey. Let's take you back a little bit, right? Because we were reading up on you, of course, and we'll talk about all the big-time college statistics. But you were a flag football player at a young age, right? I read that at that time, people were talking to you at like the ages of 6, 7. Like, what do you want to do? What are you going to be? And you're like, I'm going to be a pro football player. That's it, and that's all. Weren't thinking about any other occupation. Is that the case?
Yeah, no, absolutely. My mom, I remember she told me that when I was playing flag football, that my coach came up to her and he was like, I'm going to be seeing that guy on Sundays.
That's awesome.
I'm in this position now.
Yeah, for sure. You still keep in touch with any of those coaches?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Love that. And I think he's got a crystal ball because it seems like that's certainly going to be the case. You play football for all these years, of course, and you head to Holy Cross. What have you learned from people like that coach you talked about, like your high school coaches, college coaches? What are some things along the way that you're going to get asked in team interviews? Like, hey, what are some things about the game that you just feel really, really confident about and about your personality as well?
Well, I mean, I think it kind of comes back to just like from the coaching standpoint, like it takes a village, like I didn't get here by myself. I have an amazing family, great support system. I've been able to be put in every position to succeed. So, and then going to Holy Cross and going to Potomac Falls, like having coaches that help me build, increase my game, increase my play level. I feel like that's my biggest thing. I'm just so grateful for my community that's been able to put me in the right positions to be successful. So that's huge for me.
We're hanging out with Jalen Coker here on the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy NFL Draft preview intro here. So people that are unfamiliar with your tape, tell us a little bit about your game at Holy Cross? You play outside? Did you play inside in the slot, all over the field? What kind of offenses did you guys run generally?
Yeah, so I played majority outside, but I mean I kind of worked inside occasionally my senior year. I'd say my play style, play type, I'm a bigger guy. I'm not huge, but I play big. I'm aggressive at the catch point. I can jump. I feel like I got the best hands in the draft. So I mean, I feel like, I'm gonna be a bigger guy that you can move around. So I'm versatile in that way. I play special teams. So, any way I can get on the field and make an impact is really what I'm looking forward to. Um, yeah, and I feel like our play style, it was a pro style. We throw it up, but we were heavy run game as well. So we like to beat you with the run and then kind of take our shots over the top.
You're probably familiar with Randy Moss's game. You've probably seen You Got Moss. I'm sure you did that to a bunch of poor corners and safeties out there a handful of times.
A couple.
Yeah, he's being humble, no doubt about it. Hey, so obviously people notice your production. How could you not? But you end up going to some of these, after college participation bowl games, Hula Bowl for one. Tell us about that experience. You're going up against some of the best competition in college football, of course. I think people always like to say competition concerns when it comes to somebody from a smaller school. I'll put that in quotation marks because you guys have developed a lot of great football talent over the years. But talk about that experience and what that was like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting selected to, the Hula Bowl, the Shrine Bowl, amazing opportunity to kind of gauge where I'm at, like with, I guess better talent, whatever we're gonna call it, bigger from a bigger school standpoint. So, and I feel like coming out, like they were like, he goes to a small school, like production's great, but is the competition the same as the FBS level? So I feel like having that opportunity to really showcase my talent, proving that no matter who I'm going up against, I'm gonna make a play, I'm gonna make a catch, I'm gonna score a touchdown. That was huge. So I feel like it only elevated my draft stock. Like all the concerns that I had coming out, like I kind of put to rest a little bit, I could say. So I feel like it's really gonna come down to, running that time, doing well in the agility drills, jumping the way I'm supposed to. Like really the combine is gonna be, I feel like, the biggest thing for me because I've proven myself in the all-star games.
You're a big dude. What time are you hoping to run? We always ask people this. You don't have to give it away because you don't want to you don't want to underwhelm, right, and overpromise. That's the word I'm looking for. But give me a range.
I would say anything from 4.45 to 4.50.
Be insanely good. Jordan, go ahead, man.
So talking about the combine, getting ready for that, you talked to the Steelers and they've shown interest in you, correct?
Yeah.
And what were those conversations like?
Really just down to earth conversations. Like, I mean, it was more just like getting to know me as a person, just like what I do, what I like to do, how I like to be coached. Like nothing like too like analytical, I guess you could say. Really,
just more getting to know you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Genuine.
So.
What would it mean to play for an organization like the Steelers and a coach like Mike Tomlin? Do you know? I know you told us you were a Saints fan. We won't hold that against you because hey, I like the Saints. They're in the NFC. We don't see them too often, but just talk about what that would mean. Do you know anything about the organization?
I don't know a lot about the organization, but I mean, Mike Tomlin. I mean, he's like I feel like a pretty winning coach. Like I think. Yeah. There's some record like he's like 10 straight like positive winning seasons or something like that. So I mean, a great culture there, and that's really what I'm looking for. Like coming from Holy Cross, like we were all like brothers. So going to a place that has a winning culture that wants to get better, is hungry. Got younger guys playing out there. So I mean, like Pickens, and then you got Pickett. So I mean, I'm all for playing for them. I feel like any team. Is whoever's willing to take a chance on me, I'm ready for. But I mean, Steelers, I would not be mad at that at all.
Yeah, and I think Steeler Nation would love to have you in black and gold, especially with that 40 time you're talking. So, Mike.
Yeah, it's interesting. You seem like a big time NFL fan. You're throwing out names like Pickett and Pickens, and I don't want to throw our guy Jalen Warren under the bus at all, but we would have him on the show all the time, and he couldn't even name half of the Ravens and Bengals and Browns. He was so, singularly focused, which I thought was funny. But where does that come from, man? Are you sitting there on Sundays watching football all day, taking everything in, watching tape? You play Madden?
I don't play Madden. Not really because I know the benefits you can get from it, but I'm just not good at it. So it just kind of tends me to lose every game. But I mean, I watch the NFL occasionally, but I mean, I'm not sitting in there like watching certain things. But names that I actually back in college, my friend he's from New Jersey, and Kenny Pickett was actually there throwing the football. So it'd be funny if he remembers me if we end up on the same team. So he was throwing me the ball a couple times, but
That's great.
yeah. But I mean, no, I'm not like a huge NFL like guru, but I know my way around a couple things.
So Kenny Pickett was throwing you some passes.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Did you guys have any conversation at all? Was it just kind of like, hey, let me hit you on a slant, let me hit you on a go?
Yeah. It was nothing too crazy, nothing too in depth, but I mean, I was there for sure.
That's good stuff. That's very
There's
good
the
stuff.
connection right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
You're watching and listening to the Sick Podcast Steelers. Crazy. We're hanging out with Jalen Coker here. All right. I got to ask you, obviously you seem quite familiar with the NFL. Who are some guys you model your game after? Maybe some of your favorite receivers, whether they're current, past guys. Who do you look up to and watch?
Yeah, I feel like my favorite receiver and probably a lot of people's favorite receiver is Calvin Johnson. Just his ability to go up, get the ball. He's a bigger dude, but he's still running past guys and making difficult catches in traffic, So I feel like that's someone who I really gravitated towards growing up. Randy Moss as well, we talked about earlier. I mean, like that guy's just a freak, So, and especially coming from, Marshall, like not the biggest school. So, I mean, I feel like I kind of relate to him in that way too. Like if you can play, So those two guys for sure, though.
So we always like to ask again, appreciate your time coming on here and just great stories and even more, wanting you to become a Steeler after this interview. But just talk about like some off the field, like some hobbies, certain musician that you like, anything that, our viewers would like to know about yourself off the field.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in college, I unfortunately lost one of my good friends, Adam Oakes, and I was running like I wasn't running it, but like I was asked to be like an ambassador for the Love Like Adam Foundation, and they like work on hazing prevention and things like that. So I try to use my platform to elevate their voice and make sure that people are listening and things like that. And they're like going across the country right now working with other schools, high schools, like working on hazing prevention. So that's huge. I also do some like community work. When I was in college, I was working for Worcester. So it basically like helps give like, schools that are, struggling with like the daily maintenance or playground safety, things like that. Like we'll build playgrounds for them. We'll pick up trash around their campus, just kind of giving back to the community, giving back to the kids. So that's something that I also want to, be more involved in when I get to the NFL. So, having that platform, having that ability to, really make a change, make a difference. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I feel like pretty cool guy, really chill, just playing video games, hanging out.
Not Madden, no.
No, not Madden. You will not.
What do you NBA? Are you like Fortnite? Like what?
No, I mean, I was playing Call of Duty is what I really like to play.
Okay, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Mike ourselves were just Madden. Like I think Madden and baseball and 2K.
Well, 2K, yeah, it's just pretty much all
sport. I tried the show for a little bit, but
yeah, it's challenging.
It's really hard to hit. It's really hard to hit. Yeah, it's so hard to hit. Like it's some weird timing. It almost feels like you're literally in the batter's box.
Like I'm good at shortstop because you just got to click one button and then the ball's there. So that's my favorite position.
Yeah, and that's all good stuff. Really, really great stuff that you're involved in and doing. And Cam Hayward was just named the Man of the Year. Pittsburgh's really big on community, especially the Steelers. I mean, there's no beaches here, so pretty much people revolve their whole life around football season here in Pittsburgh. So I think that definitely just after hearing everything, I think you'll fit in just fine here if you do come here. Either way, whatever team is, they're getting a great young gentleman. Mike?
Yeah, man. Hey, and we'll retweet those and tweet them from our personal pages, myself, Jordan, and the Sick Podcast, the foundation, and all the community work you're doing. Absolutely great stuff, man. That's big time. And I know you put more stock and pride into that, I'm sure, than your actual on the field performance, even though both are excellent, Jalen. So thanks so much. Jordan said it well. No matter where you go, we'll be rooting for you. All right, man. Nice to meet you.
Thanks
for your time, Jalen. Best of luck.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, once again, just a guy you got to root for no matter what. And I think that the Steelers, you know, they could use, you know, you can never have too many wide receivers. He's a dual threat. You know, he said he played special teams. I really, you know, he's popping up everywhere. He talked to the Steelers. So, hey, you never know. Never say never. And I would love to have him in black and gold.
Yeah, usually leading up to the draft process, you have prospects, of course, who are going through these bowl games as well as these skills competitions like the combine. And some of them go like this, right? And then some of them go like this. It's just that natural fluctuation. Jalen Coker is going like this. Everything that I'm reading about him, people are loving not just his game, but his demeanor. Like he just said, he sat down with the Steelers and talked about life. How can you not come away impressed? Oh my goodness gracious.
He's already catching balls from Kenny Pickett.
Well, that too, but he is his work is noble. He's a smart kid and he's a beast on the football field. That shows itself. And I like to get into the projections a little bit, right? We're in that business, so we have to do it. I've been seeing him kind of fall anywhere from that like 4th to 6th round right now, which I think gives him a great chance to contribute right away. Or at least be a developmental player. Remember Puka Nacua, 6th round pick or 7th round pick by the Rams last year, became one of the best receivers in football, not just rookie receivers, but one of the best receivers in football. So it happens all the time, not just last year. Nacua is not an outlier. Antonio Brown, we can go on and on and on, with this. So hopefully he succeeds, man. And it's great to have NFL draft talk back on the Sick Podcast. Steelers crazy.
I mean, it's just, the Super Bowl came and gone, and here we are, man. We're in the thick of things, and the Steelers need to make moves. You've seen they released, punter. They, got rid of Mitch, Chooks. So, they're starting to make stuff happen. I think that, they kind of realize that you got to turn over the leaf. You got to start now, and there's no, it's the off season now. So what better time than really Kenny Pickett's just sitting in the QB room by himself right now. I think you sent me that meme of Will Smith when they moved out of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air house. So hopefully we can get some guys in there. And this is the thing. We're all critical of these guys. And I'll say this, Kenny Pickett hasn't shown it on the field, but I really hope that he can turn it around and, help the Steelers win. I mean, we're rooting for anyone in black and gold, but I think that the Steelers and their front office know that you got to get someone in there, whether it's a veteran, whether it's, Justin Fields. At this point,
a hot name.
Just get it done. And I'm not even sold on Justin Fields, but I'll tell you this: I really think that he could be an upgrade. I was looking at kind of where he was ranked, and it was all in like the mid to lower 20s in every category statistically for a quarterback. Probably rather than rushing, but really just they need to pull the trigger on something. The anticipation is killing us, and I think it's killing all of Steeler Nation. Just get it together. And hey, just keep on moving on.
That's it, man. And that's what we're going to do on the Sick Podcast. Steelers crazy all off season, moving on to draft picks, great guests, and, some top of the chart analysis from us to over here. Shout out the Sick team back there. They just got back from the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs, man. The Steelers, how the hell do they compete with Patrick Mahomes? We'll find out because they got to have an answer some form or fashion. Maybe it's Jalen Coker. Maybe he's the answer, and he puts them over the top. You never know. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out Stoney's, Steel City Wheelhouse, where the bar is set. Great beer, great tires, everything all around. That's Jordan. I'm Mike. Shout out Sammy and Elle in the studio. See you next time.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.